Hi guys, today I will be doing a review on something that has been so hyped, like crazy amounts of hype. It's getting a little bit ridiculous. And I have been using it for a little while, so I just thought I would give you my review on it. And I'm talking about the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. Now, first of all, completely ignoring the formula, this packaging is super cool. I think it is, I don't want to use the word cute because I don't think that's the right word. And I was gonna say edgy, but do I really know what edgy is? Probably not. But I really like the packaging. It comes with a pump, which is great, obviously, and way less messy. So that is great. Moving on to the formula. I really wanted to like this. I really wanted to like it. I wanted to love it so much. I did watch reviews on it and people were saying so many good things about it. So I was like, all right. I like full coverage foundations. I don't have a lot to cover, which is kind of why I like them. It sort of makes everything a blank canvas. And my skin type is normal. I do get a little oily sometimes, like right along like the edge of my nose, maybe on my chin, but other than that, my skin type is very normal. So yeah, so many people were saying that they really liked this foundation, so I was excited to go out and get it, and I really wanted to love it, but here are my problems. Number one, it oxidizes like crazy. If you hear noises in the background, that's my daughter. She's playing right here, and she's not being quiet. She's just playing loudly. So I'm gonna do like a real-time swatch because it's very ridiculous in my opinion. I can't. So I put like a little bit on my hand, and I'm just gonna like rub it in, like swatch, like, so it's gonna look like this, okay? So you see how pale it looks right now. If I keep squinting, it's because I'm blind. You see how pale it looks right now, like compared to the back of my hand. It's very, very light. So I'm gonna let it sit there, and then I'm gonna put another swatch next to it so you can see how much the color has changed. It's kind of insane. So like I said, this is a very full coverage foundation. I only use one pump and it covers my entire face, which is great because then you're not using as much product, obviously, which is what you want. You want it to last as long as humanly possible. And I have this in the shade 1.5, which is the second to lightest shade with pink undertones. So all of the shades that end in 0.5 have pink undertones, and all of the shades that end in 0.0 have yellow undertones. There is a shade 3.25 that is supposed to have neutral undertones, but I really think that if you're gonna give that neutral shade, like that neutral undertone option, in one like shade range, shouldn't you put it in all of them? That just makes sense to me, right? Because I'm sure people that are paler than the 3 point whatever shades have neutral undertones, and I'm sure people who are darker than the 3 range shades have neutral undertones, so that doesn't make any sense to me. So for me personally, as far as how this foundation feels on my skin, it doesn't feel very heavy to me, but it looks heavy on the skin. So like, obviously, like I can tell, I'm wearing it right now, I can tell that I'm wearing foundation. I don't feel like I'm wearing nothing. I don't feel like I'm wearing like a moisturizer or a tinted moisturizer or something. It definitely feels like I'm wearing foundation, but it's not so heavy that I can't feel like my skin is breathing, if that makes sense. But it does look like I'm wearing foundation. On my skin, I don't know about anybody else's skin, but it gets so cakey so quickly, you know, which is disappointing. What is she, a puppy? I have applied it with a dense buffing brush, and I also apply it with my Real Technique sponge, which is the way I prefer it. And even though, like even using a damp sponge and like shearing it out a little bit, it still looks so cakey. I've set it with multiple setting powders, and still, not too long after it is applied, it looks heavy. And I never thought I had a problem with like pores on this section of my face. I remember one day I was wearing this and I looked in the mirror and I went, why are my pores so huge? I did not know that this was an issue that I had, but it just, for some reason, these pores right here in my face, it made them look gigantic. Like gigantic. And that is not a look that I personally am going for, so that was not a plus for me. So we're gonna go back to the swatch now, because it's already changed like a ridiculous amount. And just as like a reference, when I put this on, it looks like it is almost too light for my skin. Like right now I think it would match my neck, but my neck doesn't see the sun apparently, so like my shoulder is tan but my neck is still like a ghost. It almost looks like it would be too light, like it matches my neck pretty well, and then by the time it is done drying it is too dark, which is crazy. Like I think that is ridiculous. I don't know, I'm really bothered by that because I really wanted to like it and I really have a problem with this. So okay, so I'm gonna put another swatch next to the other one real quick. And then you can see the difference. Okay, so this one is the one that I put on first, obviously, that has dried. And then this one is the fresh swatch. Do you see like this color difference? It is ridiculous. This is so pale. This is what like looks way pale on my hand. And then this is like so much darker. Like so much darker. And I really try to look for foundations that I would be able to use like throughout the year and not have to like adjust too much. And in its like first pumped out state, when it's really pale, that would be too pale for me to use like in the winter when I'm at my palest, but it's like oxidized state is too dark, and the undertone, it just gets orange. Like it looks orange on my skin. So its oxidized state is too dark and orange, and its not oxidized state is way too light, which is very irritating for me personally. I'm sure other people will feel this. I feel like all of the reviews on this have been very positive and so many people like it, but not everyone can like a product. Basically, so many people have said they liked it, and I was very excited to get it, and then I got it and it was kind of like wah, wah, wah. Like it's not bad. It's not a bad foundation. I think maybe if I had oilier skin, maybe that would help it not look so cakey. But again, I don't know how it would sit on oily skin. It doesn't seem to break down a whole lot. The only part that I had any breakdown with was like on my nose right here, but I wear glasses sometimes, and obviously like sunglasses if I'm wearing my contacts. So that can't really be avoided at all. But everywhere else on my face, its staying power seems to be really good. It has really good staying power. The fact is, it just looks so heavy by the end of the day, and so heavy really not long after you apply it that it's just not working for me. And honestly, I've gone through, you can see how much of it like I've used. You can see like the little thing down here is going up. So I feel like I've used like a good amount of it so far, because I'm trying to make it work. I'm trying to mix it with lighter foundations, and that is barely helping. I have to mix in so much of a lighter foundation in order to make the color work. So I'm gonna use it for as long as I can and work with it for as long as I can, but that's not necessarily something I would repurchase, and I don't even know if I have anyone who I could like gift it to that color would match, which is kind of disappointing. So I'm gonna use it for as long as I can and really try to like make it work for me for as long as humanly possible, because like I spent my money on it and I don't want it to go to waste. But honestly, it's not something that I would repurchase. Like I wouldn't even think about repurchasing it because there's just too many things that don't work for me personally. But honestly, that's all I had to say about this product. If you really wanted to try it, I would recommend going to the store. I think they sell it at Ulta and Sephora. I recommend going to the store, swatching them on your hands, walking around for like 15, 20 minutes, look at some other stuff, and then see which one would match your skin, because it might be the case that none of them are going to, which again is unfortunate, but you'd rather go and see if a color is going to match you rather than just buy it, or buy it online and have it show up and then just be like, oh, well, I'm glad this doesn't work for me. But that is it for my review. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye. Fun fact, I don't have my contacts in, so everything's blurry. So hopefully I'm looking at the camera, and hopefully I don't have lipstick on my teeth like I did in the last video and didn't notice until I was editing. And by then it was too late because I have a baby, and re-recording is not an option.